Good evening and welcome. Chris Upton in the house. So, how are you all getting on? Is everybody getting on well with each other? That's what I'd like to know. So, we have a few people in the house this evening before we even got here, Susan, and we've gone early. We've gone early, Susan. We're a minute early. We've wrecked the place. We're a minute early. We should go back to bed. Sorry? That didn't sound right. Did I say we should go back to bed? Good evening, Simon Spruce. Angela Mead, good evening. Pierre, good evening. Kevin Evans, good evening to you. Christopher, good evening. Sean Raymond, good evening. Christopher Hartley, good evening. John Wilson, good evening. John Griffins, good evening. Graham Allison, good evening. Michael McLaughlin. No. Michael McLaughlin. There you go. Not the tables, Carlos. Steve Pace. Ian Gunt. Adrian Bromley. Hello, stud. Ian Willen. Peter Taylor. Penelope H is in the house. Hello. God, go gun dog training. She's come gun dog training. Penelope from Liverpool. Let's come gun dog training. So, Dan McCann, Simon Spruce. Oh, we've already said that. Hi, Penny. Look at this. Hey, love hearts for Penny. Hey, she's honestly, she got some followers. That girl. She got some followers. Sue never gets love hearts. Oh, yes, she does from Simon Spruce, funny enough. 37 people in the house, 9 thumbs up. We haven't said anything. We just said it. Good evening. So what would you like to talk about tonight, children? Ladies and gentlemen, no children on here. This is not a children's site. This is monitored, regulated. So technically, we can't have any children on here. Obviously, you get a few that will sign in on their mother and father's name. But generally speaking, it's not for children. So what should we talk about tonight? Anybody got any ideas? Should we talk about dog training? Should we talk about Patreon? Should we talk about whether you think I should be a lot kinder with people, a lot more gentle with people, and hold back a little bit more? That's what one of the topics I was speaking about this morning, and there's a reason for it, because one of our Patreon members didn't. I don't know what happened then. One of our Patreon members didn't like a video I put up and thought I was having a go at him. And I believe that we need to talk about situations rather than try and just brush them under the carpet and pretend they don't happen. At the end of the day, I feel I don't want people's emotions to affect my judgment. And if I become too afraid to say what I feel, then I'm not doing my job. If I stand back and don't say what I feel. Now, we've had a fine incident today. I've watched, somebody sent me a video. A number of people were talking to me about it, and we won't mention the video because everyone knows on Patreon what video I'm talking about. And I was asked my opinion by a number of people, and I gave my opinion. But I've talked about it on Patreon. And I'm going to talk about it more on Sunday, not because I want to cause limelight out there and make a name for myself. I think that honesty is the best policy, as Steve says. And I think that by sitting down and talking to this gun dog trainer in a rational way, the two of us, it's far more it's far better for the dog training world than two guys having a go at each other. And he had every right to have a go at me if he wanted to, but he would have had a different person speaking to him go at me. But I would have tried to handle it in the most rational way possible. But if someone wants to get into a bitch fight, that's one thing in private, but in public, I don't think there's any need for it. So if there's a difference of opinion and it's upset you, come to me in private and tell me, and we can resolve it. We can talk about it. And I think the only way we're going to move forward in dog training in general, I'm not talking about any one person, I'm talking about in general, with a difference of opinions, is to be honest and open and talk up front. And the way the phone conversation went, and that phone conversation, I want it to stay on Patreon. He knows it's gone up. He's agreed for it to go up. That's really good of him.
Great conversation.
I don't need to put that conversation out there in the big wide world like me fighting with another dog trainer. But that's two professional people who are disagreeing in some areas and agreeing in others. And that is real debate. I'm trying to show you real debate. Christopher, a great chat with him. Yeah. At the end of the day, he's never done me any harm. But is that video doing harm to the e-collar situation in the country? Scotland, he explains a lot of things about Scotland, about the e-collar. I explain a number of things. I give my views, he gives his views, and I think it ended on a very sensible level. I don't think there was any nastiness. Now, he could have come down and said, how dare you try and critique my video? And I haven't spread it all over the internet. I haven't spread it over the internet because it's not my job to spread it over the internet. But I thought it was a fairly rational conversation. The dog looked flattened, though. Exactly, Michael. I agree 100%. And that's what the conversation was about. It wasn't about cruelty, as in, but it was about, is that doing us any good in the sport, in the dog training world? And at the end of the day, isn't it right that we address it as professionals? Because how can Joe Public out there, e-collars are turning into magic wands? Penelope, you're dead right. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about a video like that, people not understanding how to use it if you don't put up the beginning, the dog in its red zone case, going across the field like a lunatic chasing sheep, then the middle bit, the messy middle bit, if that's what you want to call it, that's happy, he can be off the leash, he can go in a field with sheep and he's not going to go after them sheep, and you don't need to punish the dog because you've taught the behavior. And so, you know, I've not mentioned the guy's name on here. I don't want to mention the guy's name on here. Other people will know. It's not that I'm out to mention his name, ruin his business, because that's not my policy. My policy is, if you've got a problem, speak to someone about it. They don't always want to speak to you about it, but I really take me out to the guy for saying and spending the time chatting with me over that. And you guys are giving your opinion on here, and I appreciate that, because you've got the bottle to put it on here at what you feel. Now, I like to be constructive about training, but sometimes when a customer comes to me and asks me for advice, I'm not going to have a happy customer when I've told them. Now, I've got to confess, the situation with Ian was classed as a joke, and he took it well. But if he didn't, and I said to him, I said, I'm putting a video up. It's a bit of a laugh. If you don't like it, I'll take it down straight away. Tell me straight away. But it was meant as a joke. It was not taking the mickey out of him. It was a joke. But there was a serious side to not wanting to catch my rabbit. And I beasted him, didn't I? As you guys say, you beasted him. At the end of the day, do I not put those videos up through the fear that customers won't come to me? Or at certain stages with certain people, you have to step up and shake them into thinking quicker, moving quicker. Now, you could say, well, hang on, that's not the way to do it, Chris. Would you like it if someone was shouting at you? I've had people shout at me many a time. And I tell you what, it makes me more determined to get it right. But we're all different, and we'd all be affected differently. And the skill as a dog trainer is to know when you can put pressure on someone and when you can't put pressure on them. And that's what it's about. The dog's tail told so much. That's the whole point, Graham. That's the whole point. But it wasn't just that. And I'd like to discuss it on Sunday on the live feed for people to understand, because there's me promoting the e-collar. I'm promoting the e-collar, and I want to promote the e-collar, and I don't want to lie about the e-collar, and I don't want to mislead people. And it was better that we had a conversation than just putting somebody's video up on the internet, slagging it off and technically slagging off their business and their clients. You know, their clients could come back and attack, and all of a sudden you've got a bitch fight on the internet. I didn't want that. I don't need that, right? I've been there, learnt by those mistakes 10 years ago, going on those forums, those dog forums, and trying to discuss with people coming up and giving such shit advice to other people, misleading advice, dangerous advice. And as soon as you do, there seems to be sort of 8 to 10 admin women in them groups. And I'm not being sexist, and they work together like feral cats and they attack. The Witches of Eastwick, Susan says. She's getting braver, isn't she? She used to hate me being on them. So she still does. I don't go on them very often. That's the whole point. And what I'm saying is it doesn't make you very popular when you're giving out advice, you're giving out constructive criticism, you're telling people what they're doing wrong, and people want to be told they're doing it really well and well done and well done. We all want that. But if my Patreon site was set up just to tell you, well done, love your dog, fantastic, oh, you're doing so well, and you're not, then you're not getting value for money. The value for money is when somebody puts his head above the parapet and tells you, in his opinion, what you're doing wrong. And at the end of the day, I have got 35 years experience. I've made those mistakes, and I'm trying to stop you making those mistakes. And Jonas Black did a live feed last night, and I was listening to some of it, and he was dead right. And I used the fact that it's not a paint by numbers. Dog training is not paint by numbers. He's right. He mentioned it. He's right. It's not paint by numbers. A skillful artist takes a blank sheet and produces the art. He doesn't follow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He actually produces the art. And that's exactly the same as me critiquing a video. What I see is what you don't see. And if you've only learned dog training by painting by numbers, by following reference 1, reference 2, reference 3, and you can't see the bigger picture, why the dog is struggling, then you're the one going to struggle with a certain dog at a certain time. If you train every dog the same, you'll reach a stage where you'll come unstuck with a dog, because not all dogs are the same and not all people are the same. And that's really important. I think it was a soft enough dog with a chase problem. E-collar may have been too much for it. Looking forward to the discussion on Sunday. The thing is, Michael, is in the conversation, he tells you it's killed multiple sheep. And I said, lots of sheep? He said, yeah, lots of sheep. And I said, what do you mean, lots of sheep? He said, on 2 occasions, it's got in a field and killed a number of sheep, and it's killed a deer. I said, what? It's run down a deer? He said, no, a baby deer. Well, that is husbandry problems, isn't it? That's allowing a dog to get into that situation. And that's the owners that need to be educated. And that's what he's doing on the video. He's educating the owners. But we can stop a behavior. We can teach a behavior. We can use avoidance. The dog fears going near the sheep. We can say there's nothing wrong going towards running sheep, but come back when told. We can teach a behavior. This is the whole point about the e-collar. If you teach the e-collar in a way that, and everyone's got their own methods. Everyone's got their own methods. I don't use everything Larry does, but I've watched Larry, and Larry's book is a paint by numbers book because he wants to make it simple for Joe Public to understand. So if you follow Larry's book that is so basic, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with 95% of dogs, I would say. But you get that real dog that's a killer, and that dog, to me, boo, I could have gone to that dog in that field on a long line if it had gone across that field, and that dog would have come back into me like Jesus Christ. So I'm not saying that by using the e-collar was wrong. What I'm saying is I have a difference of opinion compared to another professional trainer. That doesn't mean we're going to fall out. That doesn't mean we're going to fall out unless he starts calling me a fat so and so, how dare you talk about this video and be derogative about me. I'm not being derogative about him. I'm saying I don't think that video did e-collar training any justice, because I think that he should have put more emphasis on the beginning, the middle, and the after. And just somebody looking at that video thinking, oh, I'll go and get an e-collar and I'll do what he's doing, and the dog closes down like that dog was closing down, then in my eyes, that's not good for e-collar training. That's what it was about. It was not about you're a cruel person, you shouldn't be training dogs. It was a difference of opinion, but a number of people had given me their opinions, and someone sent it to me, so I looked at it, I watched it, and I thought, well, I don't like that. And then they said, would you have him on for a chat? I said, I'll chat with anybody. So it wasn't as if I went after him looking for a fight. I said I'd chat with anyone, and I've said that before. I will talk with anybody. I'll talk with Kennel Club. I'll talk with positive only trainers. I'll talk with people that I don't agree with some of their methods of training, but I won't be rude and offensive towards them, because that's not the way to debate. By just taking somebody's video and critiquing it to the extent and keep going on and on and on about it, saying that they shouldn't be training dogs, they're ripping people off, they're doing this, they're doing that, I think is totally wrong. And I think that's why we've got such a vacuum of trouble in the dog training world, not just the gun dog training world, the gun dog training world. People don't want to come forward. People don't want to come forward and put their head above the parapet unless it's a lovey-dovey chat and no one talks about anything of any substantial content. Any questions, Susan? Honesty is best, sometimes hard to take, but makes you a better handler. Without fail, Sean, without fail. And I'm going to say this, and I don't want to keep going on about this, but a lot of you will know that I took the video down that Steve was not happy with. And I've spoke to him in private, and he's not happy, right? And I don't want to go on and on and on and wind the poor chap up, right? But trust me, I never was rubbishing his training. I was giving him advice to try to improve his dog's confidence. That's why I said what I said to him. And in competition, if you send a dog and you've got to handle it on a scene retrieve, you're going to get knocked for it. He's not in competition, but he's talked about he would like to have gone in competition with the dog. But I want him to get that dog better than it is. And yes, I made a comment about the video, and I thought it was a brilliant little small video that would help so many people understand that marking ability, straight out, straight back, is really important. You do not want to be overhandling a dog. So there was nothing. It wasn't. If Ian had took offense with that video and said, take it down, I'm not happy with that, I would have apologized sincerely, because it was taking the mickey. I was not taking the mickey out of Stephen. I was not trying to belittle him. And he's mentioned it before, because of his autism. That might be the reason that he took offense by it. I can't hold that baggage. I can understand and I can be sympathetic, but I can't hold that baggage and hold back. I had 20 odd videos waiting to go up that I sat a whole day and edited for him in small segments and kept the bits that were important for people to see. Ian should have took offense. The t-shirt was ridiculous. Yeah, but that's the problem, isn't it? It just, if you keep getting knocked for everything you do, you're going to lose confidence. And the idea with Ian is we don't want him to lose confidence, but we're using humor to diffuse the situation, because going around the pen, Ian was out of sync completely. His timing was out, his movement was out, his thought pattern was out. And like he said, he'd had a long drive, he'd had a drink, a few hours sleep. And at the end of the day, you're not in your best if you're in that mode. And I've said this before to people. If you want to come here and have a drink with me and have a social evening, then fine. But if you want to get some training done, get to bed at 10 o'clock. If you can't stand the heat, you have to get out of the kitchen. Because sometimes I look at the clock at 12 o'clock and I look at Sue and I'm thinking, she's got to go to work in the morning. And they're still here chatting. Because why? Because it's friendly. We have banter. We have a laugh. I don't mind that. But we have some serious training to do as well to get your dog right. And I like the fact that Ian has not taken offense by it. But If he had, I would apologize for taking it down, because that's not what I'm out to do. Stardale flat coated retriever, working retrievers. Good evening to you, John Wilson. Michael, I agree. Stealing all the girls with his chiseled body. That's the problem, isn't it? It's us blokes are getting jealous now, aren't we? Chris and Penny, any ideas to stop Friend's dog, which is a collie, on looking at cars on the lead and out for a walk? Yeah, lots of good reasons. We'll discuss that on Sunday. Angela Mead, you should not have to justify yourself, Chris. Too many people are oversensitive. I agree with you, Angela, but the problem is, I don't want to generally go out of my way to upset people, but I'll apologize if you've taken offense by it, but I stand by that video, although I took the video down. I stand by that video, but I took the video down because I did not want to leave it up if he felt that was embarrassing. I didn't put it up to make it to go out of my way to make him embarrassed. I put it up to show him his weakness, that he's still overhandling the dog instead of letting the dog have the confidence to get out there and learn to pick it himself. Because if you watch the video, well, you can't watch the video now, but if you watch the video, he actually picked the dog up at one point, turned it around and pointed it in the direction of me. Well, I was making that noise and then firing a shot. That dog's got to learn to look in the direction of the gun. You can't be turning a dog round and putting the dog in the position, because every time he touched the dog was looking at him. It was looking at him, back at him. That only comes with experience, everyone. He has not been in that situation to go out with other people and do that. And that's where you learn from that. There was nothing wrong with the video. It was a good educator. And that's the whole point. It's not that I'm having a go or having a bitch in public about it. I'm saying, come on board, Steve, get over it, move on. We don't need to talk about it anymore. But it bothered me. It bothered me because I care. It bothered me because I care that my customers get a good service. I'll give you a good service in any time you're here, Sue said. That didn't sound right, did it?
No, freaking well didn't.
No, it didn't sound right, did it? See, that's my mind running right away with itself. That's Ian's fault. I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy by far.
Brain engaged, please.
I'll give you a good service, not a good servicing. Because because I used to be a mechanic. I could grease your nipples, check your timing. Stop it. This is, thank Christ, it's not a children's show. I'm not coming now. Thank God for that, John Wilson. Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, can't take you anywhere.
Penelope, what are you drinking tonight? I'm drinking pints of gin. Pints of gin. Yes, Ian. I need a service. Stop it! Stop blaming me, big lad. I think it was quite nice that the girls had a bit of banter. It was quite nice, and they got involved. And at the end of the day, it's nothing personal. It's just having a laugh. And next time, I think Ian said he wants to come in January, so he'll probably be wearing a coat then, and gloves and a scarf and a pair of earmuffs. Can you say that? Can you say earmuffs? Honestly, there's a bromance going on in here. Okay, so can you read some of these comments? I'm trying to keep a straight face.
No, I love the girls.
We had, yeah, Sue said she loves the girls. That's it, girls. You've got to give them as hard as they. No, don't say that. It's getting worse. Stop it. It's my mind again running away with itself.
The girls are overtaking the boys.
Ian said we had a brilliant weekend, and that's the important thing. That's the important thing. Ian went home with an headache, absolutely knackered. You could see it at the level, and at that point, you've got to stop. He went home. He refreshed the idea. It was Ian who said to me the other day, "Are you going to put the rest of the videos up?" I said, "I've got them here. It's just taking time to edit." Why? Because I'm trying to tell a story, everyone. There's no point in putting up. Some people send me a video, don't they? And they go and put a dummy out for the dog. And they go and put a dummy out, say 160 feet, 170 feet, or 170 yards. And you see them turn around and walk off. And they just keep going and keep going and keep going. You're waiting for them and think, well, come on, then get there. And let's then see the dog work. And so if you can edit that, then it makes it interesting for people to watch. So some of my videos are quite long. And a lot of people out there who put up training videos only put up 2-minute videos because they want to catch your attention for that 2 minutes. I try and mix it. You've got 2-minute videos, you've got an hour's video, you've got half an hour's video. I try and put a bit of humor in there. I try and put a bit of satire. I add music. I educate. I want to keep you entertained. As Robbie Williams said, let me entertain you. Here we go. Sean Raymond, definitely a good service. Always go home with an headache. That's the way. That's what most of the girls do when they come here and say, I've got an headache. Just imagine Ian was taking the lessons. Hey, they say, could I have an extra hour? Could I have an extra hour with Ian? Ian got Chris might stay in the caravan or in Plymouth, maybe. No problem, mate. He wants to go disco dancing in Union Street, so it's closed at the moment. Yeah, I bet he's good on the dance floor. Anyway, so would anyone like to speak about anything tonight? Would anyone like to talk about anything? Because Susan's supposed to be reading out any questions. Am I just rambling? We've had 26 minutes, 69 people in the house, and 18 thumbs up. So there is a few people watching. These videos go out and they go onto YouTube, and it has about 500, 600 views by the end of the week on these live feeds. So people do tune in and listen to them. And the live feed on a Wednesday night is anyone can join. On a Sunday night, it's for Patreon customers only. And then we've got Corleone Talk, where Chris Devella's opened up the Corleone Talk, and people are sending in their videos on there and having a good chat. There was some good banter on there, and it's quite nice for you to have that access to each other's critiquing each other's videos, as in, well done, that's nice, and it's great. It's great. And like I said, I haven't seen anybody on there going over the top trying to sell themselves as a dog trainer, but they've given encouragement, they've given advice, they've said, just try that, this is what I did. And that's the way to learn, isn't it? That's the way to pass it on, and gain that knowledge and gain that understanding. And the more dogs you train, the more you understand how different dogs are, and the more people you deal with, the more you work out how different people are as well. Because like I say, some people learning capacity is completely different to others. I've had really highly educated people here with high-powered jobs who've got no common sense at all. I wouldn't name them. I wouldn't name those people, but high-powered jobs in government, in the police, and Peter Taylor. I'm learning all the time. That's the way. That's why I do what I do. I don't do this to promote myself on the internet because I want to be an internet sensation. If I wanted to be internet sensation, I'd be doing something different than this. Believe me, this is a small part of dog training, really, if you think about it. The dog training world is massive. If you want to make money and you want to make a name for yourself, go and train pet dogs and pet people. Why? Because most of them haven't got a clue. They'll follow you like the Pied Piper. At the end of the day, people only follow you if you get results with gun dogs, because people have gone to other people, not got results, and they're looking and turn up coming to me. Now, that's not me saying everyone out there doesn't know what they're doing, but that video about that sheep killing dog, in that video, he says that person went to a gun dog trainer. Well, they didn't go to a good gun dog trainer, because I know 95% of the good gun dog trainers that I know would sort that out, no problem at all, without an e-collar. Right? So there you go. That dog was not a eye-driven dog. That dog's prey drive may have gone up because of the chasing of the sheep and the fun of that. If I wanted to make money, I wouldn't be a dog trainer or an hairdresser. I'd be a prostitute. Charge for this shit. Stop it. I'm thinking of offering myself for a happy ending. Freaking hell. Pen, I'll put that up. And then you wonder why I like Pen. Honestly, Pretty Woman. Is that what she was in? Pretty Woman. Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
How much would Penn charge for a?
Brilliant.
I thought you were going to say BL then. BJ. A BL. Ian looks like he has the following for that. Stop it, John Wilson. As I said on Corleone Talk, it's a fantastic group, like-minded people. Everyone is there to help each other. That's what it's about. Good evening, Springer Commander. How are you, sir? Pete Butler. Hi, Chris. What's your view on pig bars in whelping box? Are they needed for spaniels? Cheers. Well, I've done it in the past, and I've found that you do save the odd pup, maybe if you're not there on a regular basis. But some bitches are absolutely useless. They'll still trap dogs under pig bars, but at least they can get round the back of them. So that's what I would say. I would say it's better to have it than not have it, if you can put it in there. Is there any vacancies? Oh, for what, Pierre? Prostitute?
There's Peter wanted to know something.
Evening, Chris. Can you tell me, or just technically enact me more about Corleone Talk, please? How do I get onto it? Chris Wheelas, you have to be a member of Patreon. If you're a member of Patreon, Chris Duval will look for you on there. If you send Chris a yes, please, on Patreon, that's what you have to say, yes, please, on Patreon, and he will then add you to Corleone Talk. It's only for Patreon customers, and it's a group where everyone can share videos, talk about dog training, and have a general chit chat on there. And it's I keep looking at it, and I think it's fantastic. I think it's working really well. Christopher, the chat would go wild with John Wilson. Christopher, that chat would go wild with the Scousers. Honestly, I'm just guessing what this is about sometimes. Pete Butler, hi Chris, what's your view? I've done that one. Ian Galt, stick to dog training, lad. Honestly, Ian, you need to write a book, Ian. How to strut your stuff on the catwalk. Oh no, how to strut your stuff in the rabbit pen, wasn't it?
How not to panic in the rabbit pen.
Sue said, how not to panic in the rabbit pen. Any chance to send us a video of you dancing, Ian? No, not ballroom. So, 33 minutes have gone very, very quiet. No one's talking.
Yeah, no, Peter wants to give up some advice.
Come on then, Peter. Where's Peter's?
He said he's got some cold game for training. Should I start with tying the wings onto the body to make it easier to pick to start with?
Peter, where is he, Susan?
20. Oh, you had only got the time, have you?
Peter said,
"Out of friggin' hell with pennies."
Honestly, Susan's swearing now, Ben.
I'm only reading what Penn said.
She's got you swearing now.
She said friggin', wasn't it?
Susan, honestly, Penn, you've got him going now. Peter Piper, you mean? I've got some cold game for training. Should I start with tying the wings onto the body to make it easier to pick? If you've never had any cold game with the dog, Peter, put it in a sock. Put it in a stocking, one of your girlfriend's stockings or your wife's stocking, but don't leave it in the car and let her find it on its own in the back of the car, because she'll give you shit if it's a girlfriend's. And then just tie it, cut it off, and throw it for the dog. Right? So you haven't got a long piece on it. You've just got it over the bird. So literally, it's like a Hessian sack, isn't it, over the bird? I mean, I don't mean you have to use fish-type stockings, but a Hessian, like a sock. You can put it in a man's sock sometimes, but in the stocking, it looks a lot. I think the smell comes through a lot better, especially if it's a fresh stocking. So that's what I would use. I wouldn't worry about the wings, tying them back. Some cockers have to carry them by the wings to begin with, and I don't think it's a bad thing, because a dog that's carrying a bird back by the wing to start with, it's got no intention of mouthing it and damaging it. It's just learning to carry it. And always try and start off with, when you say cold game, partridge is a great thing. I use hen birds especially early in the season, because they're a lot smaller than a big cockbird. Sometimes the weight can put the dog off to begin with. And then on my videos on Patreon, it shows you how to just peel it back and then let the dog pick half the wing or half the breast and the sock and the tight and get them used to it. I find if you do it that way first, you don't get any problems at all. If you just go straight out and throw a bird out, some dogs will pick them straight away, and some dogs will go over to them and spit out the feathers and go, oh, I'm not playing this. I don't like this. This is horrible. And so some of them will just sniff over it. But I find that if you build it up in stages, what I tend to do is cut the wings off and put the wings round the dummy and give the dog a couple of trees around the dummy and rub your dummy and the smell of the dummy around the wings, and do not leave any meat on there, and let the dog learn to carry the wings. Does he need to be dried wings? Preferably yes, but you can use you get a roadkill and you put the carcass is damaged, you can just break the wing off and use the wing, cut it with a pair of scissors at the joint and use that, no problem at all. It's building it up in stages, then you don't have a problem. But can you get away with it with a dog that loves retrieving? Of course you can. They'll go out, race out and pick anything, but not all dogs will. John Wilson, mine still carries by the wing. A bird is about as big as she is. Exactly. Like a sausage in a skin, says Penn. Right, there you go. Christmas party. Ian wants me to mention Christmas party. So the Christmas party this year, the Corleone Christmas party, is going to be on Corleone Talk. So we're going to have a Christmas party on Corleone Talk. And because we've got lockdown, we're inviting everyone to just dress up, fancy dress for that night. So we're going to all come on, because we can get 50 people on. And so we want 50 people in the house on the night. So if you've got yourself all dressed up like the Pirates of the Caribbean or something like that, or Ben-Hur, Ian Gaunt is going to be running the show. He's coming in as Harry Hill. Harry Hill. Shut it. All right, said Fred, but we'll have to just wait and see, because it depends if he's got his t-shirt. If he's washed his t-shirt, that little tight one that sits on him dead tight. Look. Okay. Warm towel and ready for a good rub in. There you go.
Yeah, but she said, let's see the ice bucket challenge, and yum yum. And he said, Angela, you can pour the bucket.
Listen, when I was shouting at him, when I was beasting him, his nipples were sticking out. I was worried about him at one point. You know what? This sadomasochism. I can't even say it now. Too much shit. Chris, my youngest nailed a rabbit in thick bramble cover last night. She eventually dragged it out damaged, but still alive. Should I be worried? Only if it was my freaking rabbit, Ian. There you go, Ian. There. Why do you think I didn't put your young dog in the rabbit pen? Because, Ian, you want to tune in to Rocky 1. Go on YouTube, tune in Rocky 1. Kentucky Fried Chicken. You look like a Kentucky Fried Chicken. And that's what Rocky's trainer says to him. And he ties his feet together with string and he lets him chase chickens around the yard. So next time you come here, Ian, before we put you in the pen, we're going to get some chickens. We're going to tie your ankles and we're going to film you running around the yard, speeding yourself up. You've got to try and catch the chickens with your legs, with your feet tied. How can you create a softer mouth? How can you create a softer mouth? Well, gun dogs are supposed to be born with a soft mouth. On the odd occasion, you do get mouth problems. Are we talking about dogs? Are we talking about, or is it just bred? No, it should be bred right, but people can actually put the problem into the dog by being too harsh, by punishing a dog, by shouting at a dog at the wrong moment. Lots of things can do it. Weirdo. Who's the bloody hell's a weirdo? No. You want to watch it. It's hilarious. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to speed you up before we put you in the pen with your young dog. Because I stopped on that video, if you notice, everyone, when he said, when I bring my other dog in a minute, I went, no. We're not bringing the other dog in. We're not bringing the other dog in. In hindsight, now we perhaps should have brought the other dog in, because the other dog actually, and Ian will agree with this, was not hunting as hard as I thought it was going to hunt. So there just shows you, I can be wrong. It needs to learn how to hunt, but now he's letting it catch rabbits in thick cover. I don't think he'll need the pen, will he? So the question is, Ian said, my youngest nailed a rabbit in thick bramble cover last night. She eventually dragged it out, damaged, but still alive. Should I be worried? There's nothing you can do, is there? Move on. Would I want my dog catching rabbits on a regular basis? No. If it's catching rabbits, it's pretty quick. Trust me, it's pretty quick. If the rabbit's got mixy, just take the rabbit off the dog. You do get that up north. We get it down here as well, but not so much at the moment. We don't see so many rabbits. But when you get areas with lots of rabbits and you get mixy, then your dog can pull into rabbits dead easy and catch them. But don't make nothing of it. Don't scream and shout at the dog. Just take it off the dog. That's the best way. Karen, as a moderator, ban that bloody Angela Mead. See, he can't cope with the pressure now. See, Peter Piper. Thanks, Chris. I have had cold game before. Just wanted to play with it. He's mad keen on retrieving. He needs to buy. I'll need to buy stockings and gin now. Why gin? No wonder folk in the town think I'm off my head. Stockings and gin. Just when they open the lockdown, just go down the pub and find a girl down the pub and take her home, and then when she's in, especially a married woman, and then when she's in bed, go and knock on the window and say it's your husband, and watch her leg it up the road. She won't take her stockings with her. Okay, are we talking about dog training? I can't ban Angela. She's keen and always comments on posts. She's a loyal Patreon. There you go, Kieran. Well done. ABS, always one of the first in the house.
I'm always one of the first in there.
I thought he was talking about the car, ABS. Yeah, steal her stockings. That's the way. No, she's left them, hasn't she? You haven't technically stolen them if she's left them. Right.
Yeah, but she may have left them for a souvenir as well. So you can remember her.
Oh, Susan, honestly. She watched too many Ann Summers. Is it Ann Summers? No, Mills and Boone.
Along with her knickers, but you don't need them, do you?
Did you hear that, everyone? Along with the knickers, but you don't need them. She's getting worse. I would say, you lot. She used to be a nun, my darling wife.
I was going to say something else, but I swallowed it.
She said she was going to say something else, but she swallowed it. Keep your dirty thoughts to yourself. Swallowed it. Best way to, Angela. Oh my God, what are they on about? Very keen, Kieran. Laugh me off. I had to call. Hang on, I have had to call Harley off a rabbit today with Mixie. He didn't get it, but he did flush it, and that's when I called him off it. Don't scream and shout at him, though. Well done. Paul Jarvis, the bramble patch was about 20 to 30 meters and 2 meters high. Oh, he measured it.
Yeah, the rabbit that he caught had mixing.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's the reason. So see how Chris picked that up so quick without even being there. Never shout at a dog that's got something in its mouth. There's nothing worse than you haven't had your breakfast, you take your dogs out, one comes back with an half-eaten rabbit, guts hanging out, and you've got 7 dogs all trying to get it out of the dog's mouth, and you go, "Oi, give it here," and you take it off them, and then you have to walk back into the yard with the rabbit in the air because every freaking dog's jumping up and down like lunatics wanting to grab the rabbit. And I'm supposed to have trained dogs. Mine are working dogs. Okay, Ian, at least you have good hunting dogs then. I blame Angela for Sue's change. John Wilson, I'm beginning to think this is the case.
They used to blame Penelope, but you've got to be careful. The quiet ones, that's it, isn't it?
Oh, it's the quiet ones. It's the ones who start off quietly. This is it, everyone. You know, when I came on this morning, this morning, I've lost my focus. Where have you gone? I've lost my focus, everyone. I'm pissed. Are you all blurry or what?
Well, you are.
Jesus Christ, what happened then?
Oh, you're back.
I'm back. Thank God for that.
Oh, we can see your wrinkles again.
So
Lovely.
this evening when I came on, you saw me wearing these, didn't you? Me Bose headphones. You know why, didn't you? Because you've been talking non-freaking stop today. I just had to sit these on all day. All day. Honestly, I think she misses everyone at work who she can talk to non-stop behind the counter. And she goes, "How are you, Bill?" And and he's 80 years old. "All right, darling. How are you?"
No, you have to shout 10 times harder.
We have to shout harder than that, she says, when they're 80 years old. They're deaf. Sorry, got another question. No problem. After your bitch has had puppies, how soon would you start working her again? Thanks. Well, it all depends whether you want to run in competition or whether you just want to work her in the field. But I would say I can take the pups off the bitch at 6 weeks. That's the comfortable time to take the pups off the bitch. Can you do it early? You can, but guess what? I want to leave the bitch on there for 6 weeks if possible. And then give me 3 weeks and I get the dog fit enough to go back out working. Because what you want to do is you want to dry up the milk. And the only way you dry up the milk is if you starve the bitch for 4 days. You've got to give her water, and it might sound horrible, but trust me, she's living off the reserves of her milk, and then her teats go back. That's exactly what I did with Sue once we've had our kids. I starved her for 4 days, and everything went back into shape. Lovely it was. She's gone very quiet in the background.
Sorry, I'm replying to pen.
I'm missing gambling Sue. Yeah, she's the only problem is she doesn't gamble. That's why she met me. She didn't want to gamble. Yeah. Noise cancelling ones, yeah. Bose headphones, Upton. You've got some money. Honestly, you lot. Are you spotting? Oh, by the way, we're going to raffle Ian's man bikini. Right? This is Ian's man bikini. You saw me wearing it earlier. I was doing the sniff test to see if Sue had washed it properly, but he left it in the caravan. Ian's man bikini. He watched Borat. You know, when he was here, he watched Borat. I think the Dictator he watched. Dictator. It's a bit small, laugh out loud, says Angela Mead. You're going to get a thick hair, Chris. That's what they call it, isn't it? A man bikini. As long as he's done his Brazilian. Is that what you call it? A Brazilian? Back wax and crack or something? Come on, see, what's that called? What Kim says when I go in there?
Do you want to back? Yeah, back. Do you want to... What do you call it? Back sack and wax or something?
Back sack and wax, she says when I go into Sue's hairdresser. She says, Chris, come and lay over here. I'll give you a slap back and crack. Stop it, you lot. Back slack crack. Honestly, they're all going at it. Look, they're loving it now. Honestly. Thank God you can tell me these things, you lot.
Oh, there's Penny knows.
How much does it cost, Pen? Would I have to come to you?
And Angela knows.
Or would you come to me? Anyway, this is getting terrible, isn't it, you lot?
The girls know.
This is all new to me, says Paul Jarvis. There you go, Paul. You still got your man cave, haven't you?
He hasn't lived, has he?
No. 25 quid. What? 25 quid? That's got to be worth it, doesn't it? Just to lay there and watch you do it. It's got to be worth 25 quid. Maybe more for you being a gorilla. Hey, I'll have you know. I'll have you know. Can we go back to Steve Hogan, please? Stop it. You lot. You're terrible. You're terrible. Honestly, this is just going downhill drastically tonight, isn't it?
The girls are taking.
Well, I don't blame you, to be honest with you, because the lockdown's doing my freaking head in at the moment. And it's not just the lockdown, it's Sue being at home as well. No, she's all right.
Cheers for that, darling.
I do backs, but not sacks and cracks. There's nothing wrong with my back. All right, back, sack and crack. All right, your back, right, your sack and your crack. I get it now. I thought you meant you had to take a rucksack in there with you. Angela Mead. Honestly,
Oh, Benny, you talking dogs then?
and tonight's subject is grooming. Tonight's subject is grooming.
Peter,
It'd be like waxing Chewbacca. For fuck's sake, I'm trying to come on here to learn about dog training. What an education tonight.
Gotta thank the girls for that one.
Hey, we're having Kama Sutra tonight. That's a soup, isn't it? Kama Sutra.
She ain't sorry, Angela, not really.
She's not, is she? Ian, go on. Stop it. I thought you wanted to go back to dog training.
God almighty, what did he start, Ian?
Yeah, what did you start, Ian? What have you started?
You shouldn't be so handsome, should he?
What did you think of Jax's drive with the collar on the video? I think personally, some of you just need a transit massage. That's what you lot need. You're just too highly sexed, you lot. Honestly, you're obviously not getting enough. And there's Peter Taylor. Look, there's Peter Taylor trying to freaking calm everyone down. Look, what do you think of Jack's freaking drive? Look. Honestly, they say you talk about sex every 10. You think about sex every 10 seconds. This program, this evening's conversation. I'm not married. Simon Spruce, you are married. Nice grooming parlour up the road from you. Yeah, it's called Kit Hill. It's a famous dogging site. Yeah, there is, isn't there? Grooming parlour just up the road. Get back on track, Sean, for Christ's sake. Get it back on track, boy.
Paul Jarvis says somebody asked a question quick.
Don't think there would be a pub in the country that would take us, Peter.
Oh yes, there would.
Oh, Susan knows about all the pubs in the country. She's a film.
No.
It's like watching a carry-on tonight with all these sexual puns going on. Tell me about it. Peter Piper, Peter Taylor. Fuck, Jax, it's better tonight. Stop being boring, Peter Taylor. Shall we all watch Peter Taylor's video? Shall we? We put it on Corleone chat. Has anyone actually give any comments? The reason I've not made any comment on it, Peter, I'm going to give you a beast in, but I'm trying to get over the last freaking person I upset at the moment. So I'm gonna wait until everyone's made comments and then I'm gonna give you some input. Not really. I looked at it quickly, Peter. I stuck it up because I wanted people to give comment on it, and then I was going to go back over it. Boot and shoe. Now he's got me on that one. That must be a northern thing.
No, because I was going to say, Sean the boot would take us all.
Oh, boot and shoe. You mean Sean would take us down there? Yeah. Peter, I was expecting a beast in. No, I haven't. Honestly, I'm going to watch it. I looked at it quickly and I stuck it up, moved it across to Patreon Talk, and I was going to read people's comments on it, what they thought, and then I was going to give you some feedback on that. So, obviously, 53 minutes gone. It was okay for the first half hour, and then it just turned into a. Do you know what? I might advertise myself as a sex therapist. Come and lie on my sofa. Tell me your problems. You'd be amazed at what people tell us. You'd be amazed what people tell us.
Well, you're not having Angela on the couch, so I was waiting for sure.
There was we had a guy come here, and we went up on the Brecon Beacons. We were trialing, and we went up on the Brecon Beacons, and we did a 3-day trial. And this was going back 30 years when we were really, really horny, not with each other. But we were young and we were very virile, as they say. Turned into 50 Shades of Corleone. Here we go. And so we were up on the Brecon Beacons, and my mate started looking at this sheep, and I said, "What are you doing? Concentrate on the shooting." He says, "I've not had sex for 3 days, Chris." I said, "Nor have I. Concentrate on the shooting, will you? We're here to train. We're not here to look at sheep." And he just couldn't take his eye off the sheep. Anyway, this whole farmer was standing next to this sheep shed, and as he walked past him, he went, "All right, boy." And he went, "Yeah, right, that's Cornish, see." And so this Welsh boy, and this Welsh boy spoke back and waved. And he said, I'm just going to ask him, he said, if I can take that sheep behind the shed and have sex with it. I said, you what? He said, I'm going to ask the farmer if I can pay him a tenner and take the sheep behind the shed and have sex with it. I said, you dirty sod. I said, how are you going to have sex with a sheep? He said, I've got my Wellingtons. He said, I'm going to go up behind that shed. He said, I'm going to have sex with that sheep. So I thought, oh my God, I'm going to sit on this stone wall and just wait for you to finish. So he goes over this farmer, and next minute he disappears. The farmer grabs a sheep, takes it behind the shed, and he's gone for 10 minutes. I thought, Jesus Christ, for saying he hasn't had sex for 3 days, he can last longer than me. And all of a sudden you start hearing screaming. You start hearing screaming coming from the sheep. I thought, bloody hell, what the bloody hell's he doing to that sheep? Obviously, he's a bit too tall for it, and he can't get hold of it properly. Anyway, I turns around and he comes around the corner, and he's got blood all over his top, blood all over his top, all over his trousers. He's got blood. I says, hey Tony, for God's sake, what the hell have you done? What happened? He said, listen, if I'm having sex with that sheep and I've had to pay a tenner, it's going to take its freaking coat off.
Oh, goodness me. Next question.
Not even a freaking laugh, look. Not even a freaking... What a waste of time that was. And there was me trying to get back to dog chasing, sheep shagging. Okay. 9 minutes, 30 more seconds than most of us. What does that mean? Oh, for the 10 minutes, yeah. So I have a question for Penny. Penny, are you still there? I need a yes. You're still there. As you're a girl of the world, a lady of the night. Oh no, can I say that? A girl of the world, a girl who's had lots of experience. Is she there? Yes, she's there. What is a woolly back? Pen. What is a woolly back? This is a question for the liver bird. What is a woolly back?
You should know, I reckon.
A woolly back. What's a woolly back? She's gone quiet. She's bloody Googling it. I thought she was a girl of knowledge and understanding. Backsack and crack and all that. No, Karen. She's typing. Come on, Pen, we're all waiting. What's a woolly back? To a Scouser. Someone from Wigan. No. A woolly back. Come on. A fake Scouser. No.
A woolly back is me, I think she said.
It's a sex toy. For a Liverpudlian. Come on, I thought you should know that.
You did tell her before when she was down. She just forgot.
Thank you, Robert Jeffrey. Thank Christ someone knows. A man of the world. A man of the world. A woolly back. It's got a woolly back when you're riding it. Anyway, on that note, 58 minutes gone and 55 seconds. You lot degraded this down to absolute filth. And so I thought I'd finish off with that. Anybody want to finish off on anything else? We got 10 seconds. So I'd like to say bollocks to you lot, and just I hope we come out of this lockdown because you're all getting sexually frustrated. All gone Welsh tonight. There you go, doesn't it? It's been a bit of fun. There you go. Hey, at the end of the day, it's been light-hearted, isn't it? Because why be too serious with life? You know, we got the lockdown. Someone out of town of Liverpool. Good laugh, everyone. Bollocks tonight. We don't get out much bollocks. This is the problem. We're all this lockdown. We're not getting out much. Be safe, everyone. They're now saying that they're going to open up the regions, aren't they? And if they say that Cornwall's open, but no one can come here because your regions are closed, then we're screwed that way as well, aren't we? So it's an absolute farce for me at the moment. It's a bit worrying because it's knowing where the next bit of coinage is coming from, as in customers and the calendar, because I can fill up the calendar for December, no problem at all. And then they come into December and say, well, you can't come from Liverpool, you can't come from Manchester, you can't come from Bristol, you're only allowed to stay in your own areas. Well, down here in Cornwall, they say we haven't got much of the virus, but fingers crossed for December and the people who have booked for December. But be safe and stay safe, everyone, and wear a condom. As little Johnny says, keep me covered, I'm coming in. Okay, so practice safe sex, because I tell you what, I think there will be a baby boom because too many people are bored and we've got nothing better to do, have we? Thanks, Pen, for having a laugh, and thanks, girls, for having a laugh. I hope we haven't been rude, and if you are offended, bollocks. Right? It's been one of them nights. Karen Evans, good night, Sue. Good night, Sue, he says. And that's 1 hour, 1 minute, and 5 seconds. Chris Upton signing off. Didn't get too driven and obsessed with talking about dog training, did we, tonight? Not from me. There you go, Pen. I agree with you. If you're offended, fuck off. Catch you later. Take it easy, everyone. Chris Upton and Susie Two Shoes signing off. Good night, all.